There are many ways of categorizing a MapleStory player, or really anything if you think about it, but in today's video I want to show you my way of slicing the player pie into 4 big juicy slices. Yum! Let's get into it. The reason why I want to go over this here is to get everyone watching a baseline understanding of why it is so hard to give anyone any advice in this game and why there are so many weirdly vague guides. Spoiler warning, it's because every type of player plays the game differently. Alright, to get started, picture the following coordinate system that has time spent in the game on the x-axis and how serious you would take the game on the y-axis. Now we have a system that delineates a potential MapleStory player's way of engaging with the game. If we then split this coordinate system into 4 chunks, we get the following 4 types of players. Player 1 spends little time with the game and does not play seriously. This is the type of player that you would typically call a casual, right? This type of player does not care about the end game. Maybe, is around the Black Mage level. I've seen a lot of Reddit posts recently detailing how they are looking into guides on how to do the Black Mage and etc. And that's the real first wall a casual player hits. And I think, if you don't spend a lot of time with the game, this could be the level where you are at right now. Then we have player 2 who spends a lot of time in the game but does not play seriously. And I think I fit into this category myself, and I do still consider myself a casual or casually playing the game. I do play a lot because I got a lot of time, and I do my bosses because I like doing them and I'm hopefully not too stressed about doing them, right? At least I try not to be too stressed about doing them, right? But while I could try to push harder bosses like X-Kalos, N-Carling, X-Lotus right now, I don't really feel like having to go through the whole lot of scheduling that involves multiple groups of people every week. And at that point I feel like I would probably push into the 3rd category of players, which is player 3, who spends a lot of time in the game and does play seriously. First of all, people who take this game more seriously are the ones seeking out advice, right? But a lot of players do not differentiate between a player that has a lot of time and a player that does not. Here's an example. How many bossing mules would you advise someone to make, and to which level should these bossing mules be pushed? The correct answer varies by so much. Do you want to maximize your income? Dude, looking at the newest changes we might be also getting, by the way, it would make sense to have 14 side characters that all clear up to Black Mage solo, or at least Darknell, to generate a ton of income every week, right? Or another way of looking at this is, what is your goal, right? If your goal is to double prime your whole inventory, it doesn't take more than 2 trillion Mesos, right? And that's a number that is really high, but it's also reachable. If you think about it like that, you have 12 catchy bosses and 1 main, and you grind on the main for like 1-2 webs a day, so quite a bit. You're still making like 25 bill a week, that's 100 bill a month, and the 2 trill mark is gonna be passed by 2 years playing the game. And even looking at myself, I've been making the progression series now for nearly 2 years, right? And I haven't been too optimal about things, right? I haven't used any bossing mules up until to a year into playing, right? But there are always these varying factors, and coming back to it, I think the time that you play with the game is a major factor that a lot of people just overlook. And I feel like that gets especially relevant if we look at player 4, who does not spend a lot of time with the game but takes it seriously. Or in other words, just cares about the progression, wants to do the optimal move at every step of the way, right? And here again, we can talk about what does it even mean to spend little time in the game, right? Does it mean you have 30 minutes a day and have to log off? Or does it mean that you're stuck doing everything that you gotta do on the weekends and you cannot play on weekdays at all, right? We could split up this pie into 10 more pieces and, you know, all category would receive different advice, but in general, if you think about it, here's an example. Would you recommend somebody who says of themselves that they don't play a lot? Would you recommend that person to do Commercy, right? Picture them just switching into Umbra gear right now. They are not endgame by any means, right? They are far from it actually. They do take the game seriously, but they cannot spend as much time as they would like to. Would you recommend them to do Commercy in order to get the Monaco, right? I don't think so. If they would also have a lot of time, I would say yes, definitely also do Commercy, but getting the 22-star Monocle over the 20-star Black Bean Mark, that is a flame advantaged item. It's not the greatest of differences, and getting that Monocle just takes a lot of time. So yeah, what's my point here besides just take a look at who you're talking to before you start giving them tips on how to play the game? There is one message here that I would like to share with you, my viewers that have, you know, probably seen a couple of my videos at this stage, and that is, I am often getting the recommendation to start joining normal culling parties and do harder bosses and progress faster, etc. since, you know, I'm playing a lot. But what keeps me playing is not taking the game too serious after all. If I were to try hard at every step of the way, I would burn out. And in the long run, you can always say this, say it together with me, the player who does not quit makes more progress. You just need to keep playing the game and you will make progress. And that's really the mantra that I've been saying to myself for, you know, the past couple of months. Just take it slow, I'll get there eventually, right? I can't speed up the pitched boss item progression no matter what, so I'm good, right? It took me well over a year to reach 280. Other people who play the same amount but, you know, take the game more seriously would probably, you know, beat 285 in the same amount of time, right? But I also like to just chill around in towns and do nothing, right? Like everybody, I think everybody does that. Anyways, this was my entry for week 99 of my reboot progression series. Next week is gonna be week 100. Let's see what that brings for us. Probably like a pitched item drop, I would say. And besides that, members get early access to all my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around in the next one. Take care everybody, and bye bye.